What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, spawning in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Shadowfaxx. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Ognennyj. The map is also competitive Mega Random. This is the game 2 of the Divine Intervention tournament. First game going very easily over to Shadowfaxx's perspective there, having a very, very nice first game with that one, and we'll see how things are going to go in this game number 2. Unfortunately, both players not scouting the correct way to start this this map off, not really knowing where the hunt is. There is always going to be a hunt spawn at some point around your base somewhere. Is the rule, as we do see the deer have been found over here. And Shadowfaxx is going to be swinging up here to find his deer, most likely over on this position here. But he's got a long way to walk there to grab this one. And in actuality here, Shadowfaxx, he hasn't actually grabbed hunting dogs. So he's making a decision as to whether or not to grab hunting dogs. Being as Odin, it's basically guaranteed you need to grab it because you got great hunt. Even in the worst situation here, you're still going to be getting 1,750 food, so it's always kind of worth it as Shadowfaxx sees his deer, and he does get that dwarf out there as he's trying to just squeeze out as much as he possibly can, and now he can grab the hunting dogs and great hunt this position. He decides to great hunt the cows, actually. What? I don't know how much he actually got here. He chose to great hunt the cows, so he's going to have a lot more food inside of his main base, but I don't think he got that many. I don't think he got that many deers here either. But hunting dogs now coming through for Shadowfaxx. No, he's going to be fine here because he can build a dwarf. But is he going to build a dwarf? No, he gets an ox cart. No worries. That's brutal. Did Shadowfaxx see it? He has to get the house out. He doesn't have a choice. He can't go up and grab these cows. Will he make it in time? He has to move forward, get to this position before the cows get back home. Is he going for it? He is going for it. The question is he going to be there in time? The cows are very, 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 very slow at 2.5 speed compared to the Skraeling's 4.8 speed. As the Skraeling coming through, once it gets to that sentry tower, there is no way to steal it with just the one Skraeling, and he doesn't, he gets one back. Just one. Oh, that's so devastating for Shadowfaxx to start this game off. Great find there from Ognennyj in the start of the game. Relics have been uncovered here. Pandora's boxed. Minus 25% myth unit training time there for Shadowfaxx if he wants to pick that one up. That's a big help for the mid game when you're building those frost giants, and potentially also the fire giants in the later stages of the game there, as Ognennyj now going to be getting himself the monument to villages here as the Skraeling searching around the main base here of Ognennyj, sees the back gold mine, realizes there's not going to be all too much to be had there in terms of a rush, as the food also going to get eaten up. Plenty of cows here in the main base for Ognennyj. He's got 11 cows to 6 here as Shadowfaxx, 7 cows here for Shadowfaxx. So it's just a slight advantage where that's concerned. As the game continues, Shadowfaxx just about to advance to the next stage. He needs that Templar, bit of a later advance than normal, but nothing really. Honestly, when you were playing against Egyptian on a map like this, advancing fast probably isn't the best of ideas. Taking that slower advance time, getting a little bit more economy going early might be the better idea, because you're not going to be able to push your opponent off of this hunt. Like, say you advanced at, like, say, a standard 4:30 advance time or something like that. This hunt is basically all gone. There's around about, 300 food left here, 350 food left here. The Sark hitting this position, you're going to get shanked away. He's going to be able to eat this up, no problems. So I like the idea here from Shadowfaxx, not panicking too much. We see hand axe, we see pickaxe coming through. Very, very standard for a later advance to grab those sort of upgrades and enjoy those. as the priest retreats back. Great building block there with the walls, as Shadowfaxx almost able to snipe down a priest here, but it does manage to teleport into the tower there. No problems. If Shadowfaxx wants, he can actually try and shank down that tower there, but the food does end up being finished up over here. Bast now clicked up for Ognennyj with a really, really late advance time, but again, not the biggest of problems for Ognennyj. Does he have pickaxe as well? As a question there, no pickaxe just yet, and I don't think he's got that very, very important Flood of the Nile technology, which really helps out ISIS players on these sorts of maps as well. Flood of the Nile now coming in, but he's going to be in a good position here because he can just jump onto these cows with husbandry. Going to be really, really nice. Got a little bit of chickens left over here, but he can just do that and it should be fine. He's got the Trios bow here as well to help out as Shadowfaxx gets his house up. The question is what to do for Shadowfaxx, because he basically should know what he's playing against here. With an advance time this late from Ognennyj, even if Ognennyj goes for a second town center here, it's not going to be as good as normal. And basically, there's one strategy that Ognennyj can really accomplish here if he just goes Bast. If you see Bast, it's going to be a fast heroic here. Very, very rare to see anything else in these sort of situations. So what do you do from the perspective of the Odin play? There's nothing to attack early. You've got two options. One is you play to restrict your opponent from getting that second gold mine. You put a ton of pressure onto them when they're pushing out. You force a defensive Ancestors Eclipse, and you take the game that way. The other option, maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little bit safer, is you just grab the back town center and you take the game semi-fast, heroic, or just like a 2-town center fast heroic from the Odin. You start spamming up hill forts, try and make that work. Both options quite strong, as we do see the armory now coming through. Ognennyj needs to get that Pharaoh onto the town center here. What you can do here is you can just garrison all of these villages and then ungarrison them, and then you can send the Pharaoh over to empower the armory up as an idea. That way you get maximum amount of value from your Pharaoh. As Ognennyj just about to click up. It's not going to be that late of an advance time either to the heroic age. Generally, its standard is about 8 minutes, though. Like one town center, you can get as fast as like a 6:30. I've seen. Actually, the fastest heroic age I've ever seen from an ISIS is like a 5:30, but a 5 minute and 30 second. But that's on vanilla, where ISIS was getting the discount of like 10% on the age up cost. But it's like fast, very, very fast heroics from ISIS generally don't work out too well. And 8 minute is fairly standard. As we see the prosperity coming down, I'm not going to say it, but you know what I want to say here. I'm not going to say it, but me not saying it has basically meant that I've said it, right? If you don't know what I mean, go and watch all the other ISIS games I've been commentating on like recently. Anyways, farms started to come up here for Shadowfaxx as well. No town center here. Shadowfaxx actually going for a 1 town center fast heroic. This is very scary. I don't know if this is going to work out all too well for Shadowfaxx or not. As now we see Skadi coming through. This is a strategy I have not seen before. 1 town center fast heroic against ISIS's 1 town center fast heroic should give Ognennyj a lot of opportunities here to hit his timings. As a barracks coming down, I like that idea here. Getting out some axemen to prepare for Huskal, or just having the barracks down to prepare for Huskal is going to be very, very important. And the question is, where will Ognennyj actually put his Migdol stronghold as he's starting to move forward? The Pharaoh coming through as well. A couple of priests out, Sphinx and Scorpion Men out as well to help him with getting a second gold mine secured here on this map. As the unit's starting to come through, got a couple of those Herser out as well. As the cows slowly getting eaten up. And I guess I understand what Shadowfaxx's thinking is here. Idea would be he can go Huskal throwing Axemen, slowly get his farms up, but really not need to be investing that much in farms super early. So he can continue to just spam onto gold with dwarves. And he should be okay here to do that. But the problem is that if he just gets hit with a timing of any sort here from Ognennyj, he's probably going to lose the hill fort. He's probably going to be in a very, very difficult position. And we do see a monument to the soldiers coming up on this front as well, which I love from Ognennyj. This is going to be protecting himself on this position from any sort of frost attacks here. And life is going to be very, very good for him as he's going to shoot up this siege works as well. After all is said and done, let's take a look at what the actual economy is looking like. Hand axe adds of what wet. I can't say that. No, I'm not even going to try. The Bast wood upgrade. Siege works coming through here. And he's going to be able to start building those siege towers as he does decide to cut a little bit there. Making some spearmen, making some axemen. What is Shadowfaxx going to be building here is the big question. As he has the hill fort up. And he does go in with those Huskarl. So Huskarl throwing Axemen here makes a lot of sense. You can utilize the Axemen to take out the infantry units. You can utilize the Huskarl to take out the chariots. The problem is that there's no real good answer to the Ancestors Eclipse. There's no good answer to the Myth units. And the Chariot Archers are going to snipe both the Hersir and the Thrown Axeman. This is why we don't see this very much, as we do see a cheeky little raiding cavalry raid coming through. As Ognennyj here, he's still waiting on this timing. I think that he could hit it right now. He doesn't have to wait that long. Once you get 2 or 3 siege towers out, you should be looking to attack. You don't need to wait for a full population army to push across the map, especially when your opponent's gone for a fast heroic. As we see now, 10 minutes is here, and the reason why the 10-minute 10-minute timing attack is so good is because the gold mine expires for most civilizations at around the 10-minute mark. So hitting that timing is going to allow you to make a lot of pressure as the Ancestors Eclipse gets dropped down. Unfortunately there for Ognennyj, he does get his Sphinx frosted, but it will be able to survive here as the units pushing through. Will the Scorpion Men be able to get that damage done as the Axemen coming through here? The Chariot Archers need to get in here to get the damage done as well, as we see Shadowfaxx attempting his best micro here on those Hersirs to clean up those minions as best as he can. The Priests are also in here, so he can actually take out the Frost Giant fairly simply as well, as the Siege Towers are now starting to come in. The double hill fort is in here for the defense though, as Ognennyj's Ancestors Eclipse has basically been cleaned up. Those Chariot Archers not doing as much damage as I thought they would have done here, because they just weren't actually fighting in this one. As one siege tower getting taken out, we need to see the Axemen coming through from this barracks here to deal with those Huskarl, because they are just going to clean this up absolutely. And this defense has been impeccable here from Shadowfaxx, as Ognennyj hasn't even been able to kill one of these hill forts, though the siege tower hitting the top position here might take out one at the top there, which will hurt Shadowfaxx considerably here. But look at Ognennyj's population. He's dropped down to 68 here. Shadowfaxx is in a fantastic position here, and Ognennyj says, I don't even want to try it anymore, as he taps out. What a defense here from Shadowfaxx. He's definitely one of the best defenders in the game, but you have to ask the question, what was Ognennyj doing? He got distracted, I think, by a house here. Half of his units weren't fighting, and his Ancestors Eclipse just did not cut it. I think he was worried that a frost would come down, and that would have been somewhat of a problem for him. But because he had hit before 118 population, I don't think it would have mattered that much if the units come out. And the other thing here I think that is a big problem is he was making cavalry. Cavalry... People look at the cavalry and go, man, the cavalry is so good. It's got 75% bonus damage versus cavalry. It kills off the archers really well. It's a great unit. But then you actually compare it over to other cavalry units. It costs 50 food, 70 gold. Considerably expensive there. It's only got 137 HP. It costs 3 population. It only has 8 base damage, which is decent with 75% bonus damage. It's kind of dealing against cavalry, something like, is that 12 damage a second? I don't know the math. Maybe like 16 damage a second or something like that. No, 14 damage a second or something like that. The medium raider, if you get enough of them out, and you get, I mean, it's also got decent upgrades there with 20% hack armor. So it's actually got even more HP on it comparatively to the cavalry when it matches up. The same thing for the Hippocon. These units actually don't counter cavalry. So what's the reason in making them? They only really counter archers to some degree. There's no point in making these. It would have been much better to see axemen here over the cavalry, utilizing the myth units and the priests and the siege towers to kind of, and the chariot archers as well to counter these. Ulfjarls might seem a bit strange, but if you have enough chariots out, that's totally fine, and the axemen can tank a little bit there as well. Would have been a better timing attack, and I don't think Shadowfaxx would have been able to defend as well had that been the case. But fortunately for Shadowfaxx, he got away with this one. Gets the win, up 2-0 in this best of 5 series. We'll see if Ognennyj can pull it around in game number 3 or not. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.